What is happening, everybody? Good to see everybody is in the house already. Let me just, before we bring on the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. You know, he loves all my little 50 grand. My man, 50 grand. He says, don't say 50 grand, say 100 grand or a million. So here we go. Let me just kick it off before we bring in the guest of the hour here on the Dean Martin Roast. Let me welcome in Barbara. Roy, what's up, my brother? Davey T. Barbara, by the way, always a pleasure. Joe Town Jack, great to see you, my man. You're my man, 50 grand too. Davey T. Always great. Cinnamon Girl. I can't believe you're here. We'll talk about that later. Terry, awesome. Wyatt Earp, thank you for coming in. And for whoever's watching in the weeds, I hope you enjoy the show. Anybody wants to join the chat, please do. Without further ado, Tommy Stiggs. How are you, Tommy? Haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you, my man. Thank you for coming in. Without further ado, let me bring in the man, 50 grand. Jimmy boy, what's happening? My man, 50 grand. I had the whole Ric Flair thing going. Woo! What's up?
Yeah. Let's just hope it's not. Let's hope it's not in domain still.
Yeah,
the music. I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Listen, they copyright me all the time. I it is what it is. Sal, always good to see you in the house, buddy. Tommy Stiggs, it is good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Jimbo, how's everything? Before we get into anything, how are you, my man?
I'm good. Everything is okay.
Good.
I noticed we got a little echo. I know maybe sometime that'll disappear.
Hold on. I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable. That's what we're here for. We're here to solve problems, right? Let's see. That could also be, Jimmy, you could probably have, or it could be me, it could be anybody that has on YouTube, and you just got to lower your volume if you have a cell phone. If not, are you hearing the echoing now?
No, not now.
Okay. All right. Timmy Irish, what's happening? Short Fridays. Here we go. Everybody, Kenneth, how are you, my man? Welcome, brother. I got so much more to show you. All right, Jim.
Yes, sir.
We speak often, but I hope all is well. We talked, about families, but I always I don't want people to think we just jump into it. So I just wanted the chat to know you're all good. Your family's well. Everybody's good.
Yeah, thanks. That's fine. That's fine. Mom is fine.
Amen to that. Juice is good.
How about you?
Everybody's okay.
Catherine's fine. Everybody's fine.
Everybody's well. Thank you. And what do you say? We get started here. They came here to see you, not me.
They ignore that.
They came here to see you. You know what I mean? Ric Flair said it best: hot flying, limousine riding. That's you. All right, here we go.
I'm Jimmy, the Ric Flair of Belleville.
You're the Ric Flair of Belleville, New Jersey. All right. Yeah. You know what I want to do, Jim? We've talked about so much, and it's hard, honestly. To keep up with it. It's the truth. And I want to jump in to this. And we have so much to discuss, but I want to jump into this. You had mentioned to me in many of our conversations, I remember his name because as a kid, I remember my father talking about him because of Gucci, and he was I don't know if he was with models or whatever. His name was Bob Guccione. You started to tell me a story about this big penthouse billionaire. I don't know what he was, but I thought he was a designer. I didn't know really who he was. I was young. Who was Bob Guccione, and what did you ever have any things with him? Because I think maybe there's something you want to talk about.
Yeah. I never finished the story with you.
Yeah, I knew Gucci.
What happened was this was the year in 1984. This was when Vanessa Williams was the first Black Miss America. And she was very popular because she won Miss America. So what happened was Bob Guccione from Penthouse Magazine got a hold of some naked pictures of her, and he published them. Now, there's a lot of feedback from this because she had to disavow her crown of Miss America walk away. And what happened was he started getting threatened by a lot of black activist groups, like a lot of guys where they remember from the Panthers and stuff. They were really after him. So I remember I went to Roby Cadillac. It was in Clifton, and I had to go see Frank Scaraggi. Frank Scaraggi was like the main right hand man of Johnny Virgilio, who was the Genovese boss at the time in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Because Johnny Moose, I was with Johnny Moose at the time. This is 83, 84, when I ran after hour clubs. So when I went there, Scaraggi tells me, he says, it's Bob Guccione who does Penthouse Magazine. He's being threatened. He's being threatened by a lot of groups, and he's with us. So he's saying that he needs to have somebody live at his house, at his brownstone, whatever it was. It was up in the 60s. I remember in Manhattan, it was in the 60s. I think it was 65th Street or one of those streets. And he said, well, the way he's describing it to me, this is Scaraggi talking, he said he's describing a guy like you that can give him like a personal bodyguard and make sure nobody messes with him or comes there to try to kill him, because I'm I'm armed.
Absolutely.
And I'm heavily armed. And so I wind up going there, and I meet a partner of his. I forget the guy's name, but I go see a partner of his, and the next step was I finally meet him. But this was all within 1 hour. So I met with him, and I had to live there. I had to live in his place, in his residence in Manhattan for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And I got paid handsomely for it. I had my own section in his house. It was the most decorated, the most high line, very expensive. I mean, I'm living like a king. Anything I want, I just picked up the phone. For anything I want in the room service, his cook, the cook, anything I want. So I stayed there. But yet, while I was there, nothing really happened at the time. But I got a chance to know John Casablancas from, I think it was Elite Models. Yes, Elite Models. And that's how I got a chance to wind up casting my adult films, because some of them girls who couldn't look at as a model anymore were gorgeous, but they were also like part-time escorts. So they knew the routine. They knew the routine. So through John Casablancas, through Bob Guccione, I had met him, and then by meeting him, I wound up meeting an array of a bevy of nymphs. And that was how I wound up casting my movie when I did Slit Skirts in 1983, 84, because it came out in 84. But Bob Guccione, like I said, I lived there at Lower, and he had a very deep voice. Because at the same time, I came with him. He had to do what was it, the Barry Farber show. He was on Channel 9. And I'm sitting in the audience with him. Now, there's these people that are opposed to pornography. They didn't like him. So they come on the stage and they say, there was one guy, a gymnasium instructor, another one, and one of the people were Linda Lovelace from Deep Throat, from the movie Deep Throat. She's saying, "Oh yeah, Guccione, you tried to get me into the movie Caligula, because it was like X-rated that movie."
Yeah.
And he said, wait a minute, honey. He says, you couldn't make it as an actress, honey. He says, oh, you want to tell people that you were forced and beat up to make the movie? There's a scene in the movie where you're driving a car. If you were, why didn't you just drive away? You know, like common sense.
Do me a favor.
He goes, you couldn't make it as an actress, honey. He said, here's a girl who made a name, He said, he goes, so she said, yeah.
Check
Well,
your mic.
the girl, what was that?
No, a couple of people are saying that you're coming in broken up a little bit. Maybe
Oh,
lower your microphone volume. See if it takes away
let me
some
see.
raspiness that they're saying. You and let me hear you. Go ahead, because I don't
How's
want to.
that?
Yeah, you sound much clearer.
Oh, I'm
Excellent. Go
sorry.
ahead.
It was
I
all weird, all
apologize.
that talk?
Yeah, no. It just started. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, can you hear me better? Okay. So, what was I saying? Oh, so Linda Lovelace was saying how she was forced to make the movie, and he deflated that right away. Bob Guccione deflated that right away. And he says, well, no matter who wants to say it, this girl wants to say this gymnasium instructor wants to say that, but they don't have the right to stop us. He said, and we'll just keep on making my publication as I see fit every month in Penthouse Magazine. So I remember before we got interrupted, what was I saying? I forgot.
No, you were clearing that up, and I had no choice but to interrupt you, and I apologize for that. You could send me the bill for interrupting you, and I gladly will accept it. No, but I guess towards the end of that, it came in a little choppy. So the chat, they were alerting me because they love hearing. Where do they hear you sing? Where do they hear you sing? They're really going to love your voice. But
Well, yeah. Well, I won a scholarship. I won the scholarship to acting school. I was 1977. I was in a national talent contest called. It was called Showbiz '77,
Right.
and I was good with the cards and magic, and I wound up doing magic, and I got into the top 10 out of 600 contestants from all over the country. And out of the top 10, and then what I did was the last minute, I imitated Elvis, and I wound up winning a scholarship to acting school. But I never got a chance to exercise that school because I was doing parts and films like Minzio at the time. It was not Raging Bull. It was All the President's Men, The Stepford Wives, stuff like that. Because I'm still young, and I'm like 20 years old at the time.
But you're still young.
But I'm trying to remember where I left off with Bob Guccione because it was an important.
You know what? Hold on. If anybody in the chat believes they missed out on any part of that story, did Jimmy miss anything in that story? Because let me tell you, that my man Jimmy will go back for you guys to give you what you missed if there was something that he jumped or skipped.
Sure.
In the meantime, as you know, in show business that I'm in, we're going to ad lib for a second here. I have a question for you from your very own New Jersey person who's in our podcast group. And they're asking from Phillipsburg, did you know a gentleman named Tony, I'm guessing Pirani, from Phillipsburg, New Jersey? Pirani.
Tony, what?
Tony
with a V as in victory?
With a P. P as in Paul. Parini.
Oh.
Parini.
It's impossible to know everybody.
And how about yeah, no, I know that. And another person asked, same person, did you know TK? TK.
PK?
T is in Tony. K. TK.
TK?
How about an MK? No. How about NK?
NK?
M. Mary. I'm just getting this out of the way so I could.
NK is. I mean, M is in Mary. NK.
Yeah, MK. Doesn't ring a bell?
Doesn't ring a bell. You're not telling me a nickname or.
Yeah, if there's another maybe name that person went by, I'll ask Jimmy that. But in the meantime, we're going to just roll on. Thank you, Dana, for throwing that in. Patrick, it's great to see you here. Jimmy, thank you for that Bob Guccione tidbit. I know we're going to, I'm going to get into a couple things with you, but I wanted to just ask you something about Bob Guccione. Maybe you could tell me about personally. How big was he for Gucci? Was he like a top dog for Gucci? Or was he just a frontman? Like, was he really involved?
No, he had nothing to do with Gucci.
Nothing at all.
He had nothing to do with it. He did his own. Bob Gucci. It's Guccione. It sounds like Gucci, but it nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
All right, I just
He
wanted
was a publisher of Penthouse magazine,
gotcha.
and when I stayed with him for those 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, I don't forget. I'm going to the best restaurants with him. I'm hanging. I'm his right hand man, and I'm packing heavy. I think they even had a grenade on me too. Because in case if somebody thought they're going to be a tough guy, I'll just blow it and say, let's go, man. I'll pull the pin and we'll see who's tough. I don't care. I just don't even care. They're not going to challenge me. They're going to lose. So let's get it out of the way and make the best man win.
It hurts me to think my friend had to deal with this kind of pressure at such a young age.
Well, I didn't know you then, my brother. I would have called you.
I know, but it hurts me
we would have went down. You know, when you're in a problem, you go back. You put our backs together. You go, let's go back to back. Bring it.
Simon, that's right. Here's the names. No more initials. Jimmy Scarponi, and Jimmy Scarponi is being asked if you knew, or Tony Barone from Raritan.
No, they're not. They're not part of. They're not part of who I was with.
Right, it could be a different house. Absolutely.
But there was a Joe. Hold it. There was a Joe Scarpone who used to run the 825 the Operator Engineers Union 825. And Joe Scarpone. But then all my cousins, the Jim Grandys, wound up running it. Mikey Copelton and all that. But the Operator Engineers is a hell of a union, man. And let me tell you something. George Harms, he's a contractor in Jersey. He never wants to go union. He does contracts for Amtrak and everything and has to use like bulldozers and stuff. And he never wants to pay union wages for the Operator Engineers. And they actually once... They broke his legs, and this guy still didn't pay. And what happened was, every time, when Christine Todd Whitman was the governor of New Jersey, this is 20-some-odd years ago, 30 years ago, she used to protect him. On his job site, there would be a New Jersey State Police car with the lights flashing, constantly there to protect him. They would use the state police to protect the contractor, because the kind of money he was putting up for her re-election campaign. It's unbelievable what goes on in the state. If you pay attention, like I saw Governor Florio once, as I'm running the labor union. I'm in the Marriott Hotel inside of Newark Airport, and I'm sitting there with my partner, who was my business manager for the laborers local, and Governor Florio walked by, Jim Florio. And he walked by, I says, hey, Gov. I says, how you doing? He says, good, how you doing? I says, you behaving? He says, yeah. I said, that's not what I heard.
There you go. And what did he shit his pants?
No, he just looked, and he just looked real quick. He didn't want to hang around.
you know, I love to bounce. I like to bounce around with the life and different things you share with us. And I like to go back and forth a little bit. So this one's going to go more towards when you were running the union, some things about that. And I have a specific something I'd like to talk to you about.
Okay.
All right. I remember you, and I went through it on a different level, obviously totally different than you. You were the man in charge. But I understand it fully. You told me about two contractors that had a hard time or basically refusing to pay benefits for the membership. They weren't paying their benefits for the membership.
Oh.
We never really got into it.
Oh, you remember that. You remember that. Okay. No, we'll talk about it.
Come on, give it to us.
I'm in the Il Bellagio restaurant on Route 17. I think it's Carlstadt, New Jersey. It's right behind the Meadowlands, Route 17. I forget the next town, but you go a little further, you're near Paramus and stuff. But anyway, Il Bellagio was a hell of a spot to eat. So a lot of times, lunchtime, there would always be a different array of people that would eat there. You could have politicians, from politicians to, contractors, to school teachers, anything, even the working people, working guys. So I used to go there quite often. I would let that be one of my spots when I had to go see a contractor. Everything was always built around lunches and dinners. That's how we would always do it. If I had all the money I spent in restaurants, forget it. I could fill up your house with money, and then you still got to give me another addition to fill that too. That's how much money I spent in restaurants. Anyway, but I never was able to write it off. Anyway, these two contractors, right? They get a hold of my business manager that I made business manager.
Of course.
So he tells me, he says, brother, he says, these guys, they're not looking to pay their benefits. I says, wait a minute, hold on. I says, how much they owe? So we called Carol for the Pension and Welfare Office, which was on 21, oh, Jesus, I forget. It was number 21, but I forget the name of the street in Newark. Anyway, I call Carol, and we find out how much they owe in benefits, for the work they did for our local 342. So they pulled the shop steward reports and the filing cabinet, and they said that they owe like $14,500 or whatever. So now I have a number in my mind. So now we meet at Il Bellagio. We're sitting there, right? And so the one guy was real chubby, and he wore a bad wig on his head. He wore a hairpiece. The other guy, mustache, much thinner, but they were partners. They were partners in the company. I forget the damn name of them, but anyway, if I look back at my PSI, my pre-sentence investigation, it'll say, because I had to want to plead him out for this. Those other act of violence that they charged me with. So we're talking to them, and they said, listen, not the chubby guy, but the other guy says, he says, Jim, he says, what happens is we owe $14,000 in benefits in this, but can we get away with not paying it? So I looked at him, and so my brother looks at him. We say, yeah, that could be arranged. He says, well, how would you do that? I says, well, I'll tell you. Every Thursday, I make my secretary treasurer, Eddie. He goes there. He can go into the file. Anything that's filed under your name of your contracting company, he'll pull the shop steward reports, and then the women, they won't have anything with by name and social security number of which particular laborers that you would have to be eligible, would be liable for and pay. So he would just pull those shop steward reports, and you won't have to pay. So they're looking at each other. They says, yeah. Meanwhile, they're eating an entree and this and that. So I'm willing to pick up the tab because I know they're going to pay money for it in a few minutes. So as they're eating, so he says, he looks at him. They stop eating to put the napkin to their lips. And they go, okay, that sounds good. I said, here's what I said to them. I'm sorry, I forgot the money part. So I said, it's 14,000. I said, you give me 4,000 today and solidify this. This way we can expedite this. And the other 10,000 is out to the wind. It'll just blow away in the wind. You don't owe that. There will be nothing to bill you on. So he says, okay. He says, well, that sounds good. We had a nice lunch. Today is Friday. We'll get back to you around Wednesday, and we'll give you an answer. I went, what? Give me an answer? I said, my man, I said, this isn't Sears where you get price quotes and try to find out what you want to do or maybe go. I said, I'm the only. I said, now you know how I make my money. And for that, call it a consultant fee or whatever. You're going to pay me $2,000 if you don't want the deal. If you want the deal, it's $4,000. I said, then I know that I have to pull the shop steward report. Otherwise, you just give me 2,000, then I know I don't have a deal. Call it what you want, but you're going to pay me because now you know my business. Understand? Otherwise, you see that entree you're in? I'll rip that damn toupee off your head and I'll shove it down your throat. I said, that'll be your second entree. So now my partner says, he goes, wait a minute, brother. He says, he's using psychology. He goes, wait a minute, brother. The guy said he didn't want to pay. I said, what? Oh, I'm wrong. We're going in and out, Greg.
Yeah, I got it back on.
So anyway, I says, well, maybe I'm wrong. So now we tell him, we'll meet us in 2 hours across the street at Steve Sizzling Steak on 17th South. He goes, we'll meet you there. I says, we'll meet you there. I says, no, as a matter of fact, you'll meet my partner here at Overmacho. But I was waiting across the street at Steve Sizzling Steak. So anyway, as we're leaving, right, there was an overflow of people eating here. So we had to have a table that was next to the bar, a dining table next to the bar, because the dining room was so full. So as we were done around 2:30, 3 o'clock, so the lunch crowd was all dissipating. So now, as we're ready to leave, me and my partner go, so I give $50 bill to the bartender, because I know he overheard us talking. He's like this. He's wiping down the bar, and he says, gee, I'm glad I don't have lunch with you guys every day.
You know me.
So in other words, I got paid the $4,000 at 4 o'clock, very promptly. Yes, that's the end of that story.
And all of his negotiation ploys that he thought he was going to have, he decided not to make this a negotiation. He understood that there wasn't.
Yes, he understood that you don't just talk to me and then say you're going to think about it. Now, once I give you the lowdown and I expose what I am, you got to pay me for that knowledge.
You know? Jimbo, great. That's a great story. Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Sometimes it's only happening a little bit. Again, people in the chat, they love hearing you. It's from your side, it's echoing. Do you hear me echo on your side?
No, I don't. I hear when I speak to you, I hear like a repeat, like it's it repeats what I say. I can hear it back.
All right, I'm going to take you off the stage for a second.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bring you right back in, buddy. Again, okay. Send the bill to me.
Don't tell.
I got to remove. All right, here we go. Let's try it now, buddy.
Yeah, now you're echo.
My God, I don't get it. Everybody in the chat, can you hear us now?
Anyway, let's just roll.
We're going through. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, right, I finished that story.
Yeah, no, I got some. I got. I got. Come on, I got more for you. It's not time yet. I know when the hunger pains start. I know that. I got a little time yet. But I wanted to. We touched on it, but we have this amazing person that is new to our chat, and I want them to feel welcome. So I want to ask them as much as I ask you without stopping you as much as I can. Very versed in New Jersey, and it's funny that this person just happened to bring up Staten Island because that's where I'm going to go next. So I'm going to ask you this question first, and then we're going to go into something I want to ask you about some time you spent. We'll get into that in a second. Here's the question. Did you ever know of the D'Alessio's last name? D'Alessio's from Staten Island.
Again, that the name is very familiar.
Okay.
But there's that's a common name though. A lot of guys have that name. Frankie DeLessio, who passed away, he was my producer of all the adult films that I did, but he wasn't straightened out or nothing.
Okay, I thank you. And one more, and then we're going to get into something good. This person is also saying his dad used to sell gold to Jumbo. He lived in the Poconos. You know a Jumbo from the Poconos?
I knew a Jumbo from North New Jersey. They used to call him Jumbo.
Maybe that's.
And he used to do a lot of things to make money. He would flip cards, do everything. And he was like a gypsy. That's what they called him, Jumbo. I remember. He was from North New Jersey.
Yeah.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah, we're going to find out in a second, but I would think so. But in the meantime, let's roll on straight forward through to the $99,000 question. You remember Ralph Cramden? So here we go. I got you on the hot seat. All right. So I used to tell you, so many people used to comment to me about your days in the after hour joints and your cards and how great you were with cards. I used to tell you about all the comments. Then finally we told people I did certain things on YouTube about you with a deck of cards. Then we learned you were a master card counter, amongst other talents. I have to ask you,
and a great dealer.
Yes, and a great dealer at that as well. And that was other people. I've never even spoke to you about that were telling me stories about those days. So this takes me away from really the Gambino family, where you had your home, eventually made your home. And I'm just going to touch on this, for those that don't know. I know a lot of people in here do know, and you've said this before, I've said this before you actually find a home, or, there's got to be a fit for both sides, at least, what I've seen. And so you did some things for, I'll say it the way it is, the Genovese family, the West Side. Specifically, Johnny Mooch. You did a lot of after-hour joint stuff. You did a lot of different things with them. Were there any other things besides the after-hour clubs that you did and that you were asked to do? Did you have any other tasks?
Oh, well, on what was it? On Bay Street in Staten Island.
I know Bay Street.
Two particular after-hour clubs. I ran them both for Johnny Moose. But before I would open up the after-hour clubs, like 3 hours earlier, I would go to Dunellen, New Jersey. I had to do a blackjack game that Johnny had set up. Okay. I was gone for a minute.
No, yeah, just playing with the sound. It's graspy.
Okay. And in Dunellen, New Jersey, I would take the Outer Bridge crossing to get back to Staten Island in time to open up the after-hour clubs. But what I would do is, at the time, I didn't have a special shooting deal. So what I had to do was, I had to remove the denomination of 5 from each deck. I used 6 decks in blackjack. But if you remove the denomination of 5, like a 5 of diamond, club, heart, and spade, and replace it with the 5 of diamond, club, heart, spade, and with 6 decks, you have 48 fives extra. That means every time the dealer has a 16, he's going to more than likely pull 5, 21, and this and that. Now, there were times where, as I'm playing dealing the game, these guys were like, all of a sudden getting noticed. They were noticing how things achieved. There's a lot of 5s in this deck. And like, Johnny never gave me the pistol to protect myself. I was there all by myself. And I had a lot of nerve to sit there and rob about 8 different people, 8 or 9 people, and no weapon. And I'm actually robbing, and I'm stealing. What happened was, after they would lose some of their money, they would want to borrow money so we could do it Shylock. We would chuck it out, we give it to them in chips. So there was no money involved. And then the following week, when the game would start, they would say, "Well, I know I owe $2,000, but here's 700. I want to use the other 13. Maybe I can get even." I said, "No problem," because at the end of the night, he would lose that, and then he would lose even more, and then reborrow on the 1,300. So it was constantly that way. But the after-hour clubs, when we got, I was involved with a couple of shootouts. I think I told you guys what happened.
There's always something, right?
I think it was like February or March or whatever of '84. The kid followed us there, and we wound up having a shootout. It was in the Staten Island Advance. The next day, it was at Donegal Hills. But I don't want to go into that again because I think it was a couple of weeks ago we touched upon that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
just to reiterate something that was already spoken about.
I got you.
But at the same time, though, I have so many darn stories that I want to enlighten all of your viewers to the world of crime is very exciting, and it just never ends because there's always a replacement. In other words, if my boss goes, there's a guy that comes after him. There's another slot that gets filled, and there's other men, especially young guys, that are eager to do the work and to be recognized for it. So it'll never end. It's just like I said, the mob is like a serpent. It just knows how to change their skin. It'll never end. It's there forever.
Before we call it we ask you, we say it, this is no bullshit show, so we say it. So somebody's asking a question. Did you ever personally deal with John Senior? Did you ever,
yes.
Meet him or deal with,
Let me tell you something. If it wasn't for my father, it wouldn't have happened. But I was friendly also with little Sammy, who was the captain, who was made into captain before he died in 2002. When we were at Gillies that time, when Joe Watts, when he punked out Frank Sinatra, when he told him, "You get up and say hello to my boss," because he didn't want to come up when John sent him a bottle of champagne. He said, "Well, tell Mrs. Sinatra to come over and say hello also." And the waiter came back and said, "Well, Mrs. Sinatra thanks you for the champagne. This is a bottle of Cristal. It's $300 a bottle." He said, "But he's busy tonight." With that, Joe Watts got up and said, so it was right behind him with 3 or 4 other guys. But like I said, he told him, he says, "You're known as Old Blue Eyes. You'll be known as Old Black and Blue Eyes. When my boss comes here, you come up, you get up and say hello now." He got up right away. But that's the night when, it was the second time also. Well, it was the second time where I was in his company. But let me tell you something. When you're in this life, a lot of times you may not even ever meet the boss. You'll just have somebody who's his right-hand man who's giving you orders and something. And then when that task is done, you tell him that it was done. And this is because you want to make sure that you get credit for everything that was dictated to you. A lot of times you never even meet the guy in charge. It's very rare. It's very rare. Yeah, like I said, I was in the presence of Carmine Persico Jr. with his son Allie Boy when my father came home because they were cellmates in Atlanta, Georgia. I went to go to Allie Boy's house to see, because Junior was there, his father, Carmine Persico, and he wanted to see my father because they were cellmates. And he saw my dad, he gave him a few bucks, welcomed him home when my father came home. And like again, we're sitting there and he's already telling my dad, he says, Juice, he says, they're already looking to indict me already on something, he said. And he goes, but then again, he goes, that's the life we chose. What can you do? He says. So being with him, the bosses from the Lucchese's, I had a partnership with Marty Tassetta, which was Michael Tassetta's brother. We had a blackjack game at the Aspen Hotel. We had a suite 3 times a week. I would be there. I'd rob all the people. They would bring the players, and I would blow them out. So I was always around hierarchy. This was part of my life where I was different. And again, I met Nicky Scarfo at the time when I was inside of his house, inside of his office, and I saw the picture behind his desk of an empty, pro baseball stadium. Baseball, it's an empty stadium, but you see the diamond and everything. And I asked him, I says, Nick, why do you have that picture? I thought maybe he did the construction or something. He said, I'm glad you asked me that. He says, I keep that picture to remind all my men to always touch base.
That's right.
Always put on record whatever they're doing, so he gets his piece.
Absolutely.
So I've been lucky. I've met the best, and this is what schooled me. This is what schooled me my whole life. I'm not a counterfeit guy like other guys do podcasts. They have nothing to say because they've never cracked an egg. They've never done nothing. But with me, it's a little different. So as long as I can make my friend Craig famous for it, I'll do it.
Absolutely. Thank you. All the way to the top, me and you, bud.
That's right, buddy.
Before I let you go,
rises to the top.
MRM, right? You told me. But let me before I let you go, because people I got to just ask you 2 more, and then I'll let you go. Nick.
Right.
Nick Abadi, Abate. I don't know how you would say it. Nick Abadi, Port Newark. Ring a bell? Nick Abadi, Abate.
No, I know who you're talking about, but I didn't have any dealings with him.
But you heard of the name, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. All right, and there was one more. Somebody asked about when you went away. Were you away with any, well-known guys? Actually, the question was, were you away with Johnny Carnegie or Charlie Carneglia?
No,
were you away with
them? They weren't designated in our particular in Otisville. I was in Otisville prison. I was there with Arnold Spiteri, who was the acting boss. I can tell you that now because he passed away.
Yeah.
2022. Arnold was there. His partner Funzi was there. I had guys from the Banana crew. Fabrizio was there. There was other guys there from the Cavalcante crew were there also. Benny Ragu, whatever.
We could say
there's so many guys that come in there though, because it was basically a medium kind of place where you weren't doing a max number.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why. But I met so many guys. I was with Danny Cantaya from the Tracy's. He bumped in with us. He stayed with us and sat at our table. He was a skipper with the Jays.
Absolutely. Before I'm going to let you go now because I know I'm going to get some bill for this night tonight. There's going to be some bill I'm going to get, which I finished saying Tuesday night. No bill ever gets paid. Well, it did years ago. Now I'll figure out a way to pay it. But what I'm going to say is this.
I'll have to take it out on that high.
Oh, no. Shit. You going to show up? All right, listen.
Just kidding.
All right, listen, we'll work it out. Am I right, Chris? All right, listen. Before I let you go, obviously I want to thank you, but I'm going to ask you something personally. Maybe next week, we talked about, or the week after, whatever, we talked about something that put us possibly at a time where we might have met each other in the Bronx, possibly with a senior member. I told you, I knew the son, the father was away, I believe at the time. And, it sounds like macaroni, the last name, or the way you would eat it. And that was the last name. And maybe we could talk about that a little bit and how we might have crossed paths, even though I was a little bit younger and just coming around on a different end of things. If that's cool with you.
Okay, well, again, there's also a lot of men that I've met that I don't have a working relationship with, yet I had to meet them through the course of business, maybe 1 or 2 times, but never dared
Absolutely.
question their rank or whatever, because I was introduced that he's a friend of a friend. In other words,
Absolutely.
I was just a hair away from being there because I was already proposed by little Sammy. Little
Absolutely.
Sammy Casero, before he died, he told me, he said, we all have permission to make two guys in the family. And the one guy was a friend of mine who I won't name, and the other guy was Buddy Grasso was me while I was in jail. Otherwise, Sammy told me, he says, as far as you, I know you since you're a baby. He goes, I know you're going to be there. He says, I have you. I just don't know who else to call, who else to name. He said, but I was first. I would have been the first guy in the door. But
Absolutely.
then again, if that happened because of my earning potential and my notoriety, who knows?
They would have took you, yeah, they would have took you right off the street. And your next sentence would have been 25 and up.
Right.
I'm going to let you go, but before I do, somebody has one parting word for you. Did you used to have parties at the Clinton house? Does that ring a bell? The Clinton house.
Clinton house?
Yeah. Did you have parties at the Clinton house? Doesn't ring a bell? Okay. That's it.
No,
we'll move on.
I was in Newark at a halfway house.
Yeah, no, I don't think they meant the Clinton prison either.
Forget the name.
I don't think they meant Clinton. I don't think they meant that, but whatever. It's all good. I want to thank you for coming in. I want to tell you I love you. The chat loves you. You got some amazing comments here. A gentleman from Ireland says, Jimmy, thanks for taking time out to talk to us on a Friday night. We all appreciate it and respect to you. Thank you. Just wanted you to hear what he had to say.
Thank you. Thank you to the listeners.
Somebody I know is asking, Dex Dallas is saying, Jimmy, I'm thinking you crossed paths with the guy Joey Blue Eyes Constantino from the Bronx during your time, even though you were in Jersey. Does that ring a bell? And then I'll let you go.
No, well, there was a couple of guys named Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
One Blue Eyes, I don't think he's the same one, though.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was an old timer.
Okay. All right. With that being said, I know the Galamad is ready and the Scungil and the tripe. I wouldn't touch that with a 20-foot pole. My father used to tell me, you're not Italian. I guess not. I can't eat that. But anyway.
Next time I'm going to make you eat the tentacles from the Galamad.
Oh, my father used to eat the Capitel. Oh, disgusting. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
Forget about that. The tongue hanging out?
My grandmother. Oh, forget it. I don't even want to get into it. Listen, I love you. We all love you. Thank you so much. If the chat wants to stick around, we can keep shooting the breeze. Jimmy, give our love to Juice. I love you, bud. Thank you for another interesting show. Absolutely, my friend.
There's always invitations, and there's real men like you, my brother.
Wow, thank you, Jimmy.
Bye-bye.
I'm working on it. Every day I read the how-to book, and I'm getting good at it. I love you, man.
All right, love you more, pal.
All right, pal. Stick around the chat. We're going to shoot the breeze a little bit if you guys want to. If not, the numbers will tell me you don't want to hear from me, but that's okay. What I wanted to tell you guys that are in the chat now, and if you don't leave, it's something good about somebody we're going to have on. The name of the book is called To Be a Disruptor. Okay? I'm not trying to sell a book. I'm not trying to tell anybody to go out and buy a book. I'm just telling you from somebody as myself that I only read certain types of books. It's a phenomenal read, and it's basically it's about a guy that grew up a certain way, saw a lot of things, and became very successful in many areas, and dealt with from wise guys in the street to CEOs of the most major companies in the world. And a good time read. It's called The Disruptor. Be a disruptor. What's the
Stratus Morphogen.
Stratus Morphogen. Be a disruptor. a great book. We're going to have him on, and we're going to talk about his life and what he means by being a disruptor. If anybody doesn't, get a chance to read it, I wanted to mention that to you guys. And now I say we shoot away. Anybody want a link? Anybody want to come on? Anybody have something they want to talk about? We're here. Let's do it. Let's do it. The floor is yours for anybody that wants me to put a link up and come on. I can't answer for Jimmy, but what I can say is this. I was around a certain group, and I didn't know everybody. And Jimmy was at a higher level than me, as far as, but it's all the same. And you just, it's very possible you just don't know everybody. I tried to ask all the questions, but there will be somebody, I'm sure he will know, and it'll click. I'm just curious, that jumbo that Jimmy mentioned from, I think it was Newark, was that the jumbo you were talking about, Dana? Link for book, please. Okay, you are talking to the worst of the worst, Tracy, when it comes to dropping links. Cinnamon Girl, I need your help on a night when I didn't even think you'd be here. I'll talk about that in a second, if that's okay. Who wrote the book? It's a hard name to say, but it's Stratus Morphogen, a Greek man. Be a disruptor. If you could see it, Stratus Morphogen.
He's a huge restaurateur.
And yeah, he's got a lot of major places in New York City, major names. Dined with the best of them, dealt with them all.
All the stars.
Hey, Nick, what's happening, my brother? Can everybody in the chat welcome Nick? Nick is great people, amazing people, and he's a dear friend to the show and to the family. And Nick is just amazing people. Nick, what's happening, my brother? Send me the link. You got it. I'll send you the link right now. Hold on a second. Give me a second. We're going to have somebody coming on board, and let's do this. I love it. 1 second. Yeah, no, this is what this is about, man. This is what this is about. We bring our guests on the show. So, coming to the stage, you'll come backstage. So click that link, Dana. Click that link, and I'll see you pop up backstage. And unless you didn't want the link to come on, you wanted the link for the book. The link for the book. Tommy Real Deal, what's up, my brother? What is happening, Tommy? Nick is in the house. Tommy, how are you, my friend? Amazing. Everybody show Tommy some love. You all know Tommy. Great people like Nick and everybody else that's in this house. We have a great community. Thank you so much, Cinnamon Girl. And now, Cinnamon Girl, I thank you, Davey T. We welcome everybody here. We are a community of friends. That's why we stay with the name we have, because we're all one. This show don't work without you. And that's a fact. There's nothing to talk about if you guys aren't here. Thank you, Nick. I just want to say something about Cinnamon. Cinnamon, if that's okay. If we could send a prayer out to Cinnamon. She lost a childhood friend today, and very surprising and shocking. And, we've all lost loved ones. So if we could just help Cinnamon Girl, this community, and say a little prayer for the family that lost a mother, and our very own Cinnamon Girl, if we could pray for her comfort and get through what she needs to get through at this trying time, that she wasn't going to be here tonight and still found a way to get here. Cinnamon Girl, amazing. Thank you. I'm just waiting for somebody to pop in. Dana's going to pop in, saying the device is not connected. Give it a second and it'll work. Just give it a second and you'll be able to get in. Once, maybe you got to turn either your camera on, your audio, but you'll be able to get in. You'll be able to get in. Stay with it. If you want, you could try get rid of that link and go back to it. And whatever's on your mind, I'm here to, if I can answer it, try to answer it. If I can't, you'll hear that I can't answer it. Tommy, how you feeling, Tommy? Real deal. How are you, my brother? How you feeling, Tommy? I hope all is well, brother. How was your vacation? Everything was good? I know we spoke, but I hope all is well. Okay, we're coming to the stage now. Dana, welcome aboard. Welcome
Thanks,
to the
Craig.
Reality Report with Craig and Friends. It's great to have you up on the stage with me. How are you?
Good. How are you? Great show. Very informative.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you find it interesting. Well, obviously by the questions, I know you're very well versed, and just by the questions, how you doing tonight?
Great.
Is there anything I know it maybe it could get frustrating, as or not frustrating, or you could connect people from the same area, and it's possible. Look, I'm from Queens, right? So I'm from, say, Flushing, Queens, Whitestone, that area. So a lot of guys came out of my area even, but my train was pointed towards another borough, and guys could be my age, and I found out later on they were with who, this one or that one, but at the time I didn't know, and I never personally met them till I found out, years later or whatever. Or sometimes you never know, as you know, and I'm sure you know. I have a feeling you
Not
might know.
everybody knows everybody, right?
Right, but sometimes people that don't understand the life or that world anyway, don't understand that. How is it possible that you could be here or with this one or that one, yet you never not heard or met this one or that one? Because it's very possible, as you know. So how's everything with you, Dan? I thank you for coming in. I thank you so much.
Did you know a Tough Tony at the restaurant?
Did I? What's that?
Tough Tony? Did you know Tough
Did
Tony?
I know
He owned
him?
the restaurant, the Parkside, yeah.
Yeah, I know the
Tony,
Park side.
good
Did I
guy.
know him? I didn't
Oh,
know him
no,
like
yeah.
that. He's from my neighborhood. He's from my area.
Right.
I ate him a few times. I met him a couple of times as a young kid,
Yeah.
but
Good
nothing. I did never had anything to do with.
Mhm.
I knew him as a hardworking restaurant owner. That's what I knew.
Right, yeah. He's a good guy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I know
I've
about him.
heard
I don't
nothing but
know.
great things about him, but I can't tell you I personally know him. No.
Right, yeah. Cool.
I could tell you this: that restaurant had some of the greatest food you ever had. That's my opinion, very humble opinion,
That's what
but
they say, yeah. I've never been there, but that's
phenomenal.
a good
I
reputation, yeah.
Yeah. And I actually told a story a while back. I'll say it now. For whoever didn't get it. You brought up the name, so I'll give it to you. What not to do, when you're a young kid, but you want to try to impress or whatever it is that you're trying to do. At the time, I was trying to just be a gentleman. I thought I was being a gentleman. So I'm in that place eating dinner. I'm young, in my early 20s, married young. And there was, a bunch of guys that were older guys, old times we could call them. I was a young kid. Maybe I was 18. I don't even know, 19. I might not even been married yet, but I'm in there and Tony's in there working. He lived in that restaurant, for anybody that didn't know. And I thought I was being gentlemanly, not truly understanding the life. And I just introduced myself and just thought to make conversation. Hey, by the way, so-and-so sends his regards. Now, the person that I mentioned did not tell me to send his regards, but me being young and foolish and stupid, thought, because I thought that person was something which he wasn't, I misread that situation young. And he looked at me with a very, had an intense look anyway. So he looked at me with an intense look. He shook my hand and he just gave me that look. Like he never said, tell this person I said hello or nothing like that. Well, I found out when I came back and I said to somebody, I I said, so and so sends his regards to, to the, at the restaurant, and he didn't say nothing. And day or two later, whatever it was, I found out the reason why he didn't say hello is A, you don't do that, but B, he didn't like the guy that I said hello to him. They didn't have a relationship at all. As a matter of fact, he couldn't stand him. So, young kid trying to impress or do whatever, I thought that was doing. It didn't, it actually, wasn't, smart, not doing your homework. You know what I mean?
Learn, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was a learning lesson. Thank you, Tracy, for coming in. It was definitely a learning lesson, especially, you're young and you think you know everything. You think you've been around everybody. You know everything, even though you, like Jimmy, the phrase, you never cracked an egg in that life. I never did. I could have been around 1,000 people. Didn't mean I was doing anything with any of them. So I wasn't in that life or around that life at that point. I was just, trying to impress and be a gentleman. I was a total gentleman, of course. You would have to be an idiot not to be, but not knowing the person I said sends his regards. A, never told me to, but B, he was nobody that he gave a shit about anyway. And two, he didn't like him to boot. And I found that out later on. Yeah, he thought, yeah, absolutely, Tommy. And that's the look he kind of gave me, like, who is this? I could see it. Like, who is this fucking young kid saying so and so? Like, what? How? Like, almost like how dare you type of thing. Like, but yet he was such a man, that gentleman, in that short period of time. I hope nothing happened to our food, and because I wanted to be eating dinner. I never thought of that till now. I hope nothing happened bad in the food. But anyway, it was good. If anything did happen, I'm still here to tell the story. So, but yeah, it's true. Yep, yep, Tommy, that is it exactly. What the fuck time is it? Yep, and I'm telling you, I'm in the laborers union. I'm thinking I'm whatever, making money, whatever. And no, that's not what you do. Even if it's just a pleasantry, hello, somebody sends their best. Well, you better make sure that guy knows that guy won, or he likes him. So I could tell by the intense stare. Go ahead, Dana.
Do you ever hear? He was an old time guy, Joey Bikini. Joe Bikini.
I've heard somebody else on their show mention that name, and I know he was. I believe he was a Bronx guy way before my time. I don't want to say way, but I don't. It is before my time.
Excuse me.
It's before my time. Yeah. And no, I never actually. No, I never. I didn't hear about him unless I heard about it on a video. So I can't even say that people, family members or anybody that I knew in the Bronx, ever even brought up his name. It was way before my time. It was probably more my father's time, or I'm thinking. I don't even know. I don't want to give you the wrong answer because I don't have an answer outside of I don't know. Yeah, I heard the name, but don't know. Knew nothing about him.
You grew up in the Bronx, or did you grow
No,
up in the
I grew up in Queens. I'm from Queens.
Oh, Queens. Okay. So you probably wouldn't know that.
How about yourself? Where you from?
New Jersey.
Oh, you're a Jersey guy. All right, good.
Northwest New Jersey.
Yeah. I want to thank you for, a lot of people, I want everybody to know they're always welcome to come up and shoot the breeze, and maybe if they have something they want to add, or that's great. I think it's awesome. And I want to thank you for coming up. If there's,
Great show. Great show. Great.
What's that, brother?
Great show.
All right, you
have Jimmy on. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it, my man. Well, come back next Friday. Jimmy's with us every Friday.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great night.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, guys. So that's that. I want to thank everyone. It was up to me. I'll keep going, guys. I mean, you tell me. Anybody else want to come up? Anybody got something that they want to say? Tommy, you want to come up, Tommy, and we'll shoot the breeze a little bit, brother. Nick, anybody, whoever. Tommy, why don't you come up, Tommy? Hang out with me for a few. I'd be honored to have you up there with me, Tom. I'll put the link in the chat if you grab it, hopefully. Tommy, the link's in the chat if you're still here. If you don't mind, if you want to come up for a second, that's up to you. I'd love to have you. Roy, anybody, Joe Town, you guys always know that. Dex, whoever wants to come up, come up. Jack the Ripper, great to see you. I apologize for not, Timmy, I know Timmy. Well, whoever wants to come up, man, come up. Tracy, full green light, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that very much. I didn't get a chance to, you got it, Tommy. Take your time, brother. Guys, you stick around. Tommy is awesome, man. It's awesome. Tommy's going to pop on, and Dex, you'll appreciate. Everybody will appreciate Tommy. Who doesn't know Tommy's the way Tommy's a straight shooter, no doubt. 1,000,000%. Absolutely. Roy, thank you so much, man. Thank you, bud. Keep the comments coming. I love talking to you. Email me, call me anytime. Thank you. We have great communication, pal. Thank you. And this whole community pretty much does. Hanson, what's happening, my brother? How are you, Tommy?
What's going on? Can you hear me okay?
I got you loud and clear, brother.
All right. Well, how you been?
I am doing well. I just I see your name pop in. It means a lot, and I want you're willing to come up here with me. It means even more. Thank you very much, man.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, pal. You want to? How you feeling? Number one, how's everything?
Feeling okay. The arthritis acts up every now and then, but I did a lot today, so I'm feeling good.
That's good, Tommy. That's great. How was your vacation?
Wonderful.
You had a good time? You enjoyed yourself? You eat good?
Oh, let me tell you something. Naples has the finest restaurants, 5-star restaurants you can. You can't go wrong. And my Gambino knows all the good places.
And that's awesome, Tommy. And I'd like to, I won't expound upon it. We've talked. I just want to let our friends and community know the kind of heart you have, if they don't already know. And I know this is not you. This is not what you want to hear from me, but I need to say it. Tommy's a guy behind the scenes trying to really help our community and help this show, and is doing that immensely. And I wouldn't be a man if I couldn't sit here today and thank him in front of everybody, because that's what he doesn't want that, but he needs to know that. And our community deserves to know a little bit about Tommy Real Deal. The name Real Deal ain't a joke. It's a real name. I'm sure it was well earned. And I learned that in a short period of time. So, Tommy, thank you for everything that goes on behind the scenes.
You're welcome. And you don't have to thank me anymore from here on in.
All right, I'm done. I promise. I told you. I know you told me once before.
If you do it again, I'm going to unsubscribe.
You're coming down. Oh, boy. Oh, no.
If you do it again, I'm going to unsubscribe.
Oh, no, don't do it to me, Tommy. All right. I love you, man. You know that. Steve, how are you, buddy? So what's going on, Tommy? Anything good? Anything good happening? And anything good?
Nah, the same old shit,
Same old bobbing and weaving?
Yeah. Everything's going good.
Osada, welcome. Thank you for coming in, Osada. Yeah, we just showed the breeze. I had a great conversation with some people, and close to you, and just great people. And, our community, Tommy, as we've talked, is really building a nice thing, and hey, Pink Panther, thanks for coming in. And we got, as long as we keep it, I believe, a certain way, and we've spoke about it, and that won't change. We remain in our lane, stay who we are, true to who we are and what we are. And that's all we care. That's all we can be and do, and try to give good content, but have the real people, talking about whatever content we're discussing, and always worry about our community and friends and people that come in here and respect each other, because that means the world. We don't have a chat that who's cursing at who and just crazy stuff.
Well, that's the trick. Drama-free show.
And it's hard, right, Tommy?
Well, listen, it's not hard if you got good moderators.
Absolutely.
Keep the drama out. There's no. It's ridiculous what people do on this YouTube.
Yeah, I'm really adamant about not having it, so we won't entertain it. Obviously, there's nothing you can do but just ban somebody from coming in if they, be disrespectful or anything like that.
Well, that's what happens. But there are big things that are going to happen for your show, and we'll leave it at that. But
yes, absolutely.
stay
And I'm
tuned.
not saying it. I'm not saying the word.
What's that? No.
No, you know what I was going to say. It starts with a T and Y, and then you were going to be looking for me again. I just want to tell you, man, I love you.
Stop it.
Gianni, what's happening, man? Good to see you, Gianni. Tommy, Gianni's giving you his best. Buonasera. Can you see the chat, Tommy?
Yeah, I got it on the iPad.
Yeah, Gianni's saying hello, everybody. They love you, Tommy. They love you, buddy.
Gianni's a good man.
Absolutely. I haven't seen Gianni in a minute. It's great to see his name. Whenever I see the flag pop up, that part of the boot, I know who it is. Good to see you, Gianni. I just hope everybody had, Cinnamon, absolutely. Once again, all our prayers are with you and hope you find the comfort you need. I want to just, again, I won't get too, wrapped up because I don't want to make it, we give our best and say, we can only pray and, that's it. And pray for comfort for everybody involved because that's what's left. And that's it, Tommy. I just want to thank you so much for popping on, coming on. You know this. Well, you don't. Well, you know it, but I'll say it. You always have a seat up on here at any time. You know that.
I know. I appreciate that.
Anytime, please.
And I also want to offer my deepest condolences to Cinnamon Girl.
Yeah, I'm sure she appreciates that very much. She hears it loud and clear. Thank you, Tommy. With that, Tommy, if there's something you want to say or add, feel free, brother.
Yeah.
Please do.
You got to get Jimmy to do something about his microphone.
I know we ran into that issue tonight.
It was reverberating,
I know.
And I don't know if he's got something, if he's got his YouTube on at the same time or.
That's what I was thinking. But
is he on his computer or his phone?
I believe it's a new laptop he just got. So I'll speak to Jimmy. He's going to go back to this.
You know what you should do? If he can't straighten, this is my suggestion. Mm-hmm. If he can't straighten out the sound on his laptop, maybe he should just come on his phone. He'll get.
That's what he used to do. Yeah. That's what he used to do. Yeah.
So
tonight was the
that's all I have to say.
Yeah, tonight was the first night that we had that issue that it would go away for a second and come right back and be hard. It was bad, and I was hoping it would go away. I texted him, I was trying to, I took him off the stage a couple of times.
Your sound went bad. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can.
All right, I don't know what the hell happened. Nothing but sound is just now. How was my sound tonight, Tommy? Was it okay on my end, or was it just?
Yeah, your sound was fine.
Yeah, it was coming. Yeah, it was on that side. I heard the echo. It was bad.
Did you get a new microphone?
Yeah, I just got a different mic. I was hoping to give a little bit better sound on my end, but maybe there's some other things I need to hook up, but I'll get it figured out. And the next time, maybe with Jimmy, we'll do what you said. We'll work off the phone because we never had an issue.
Dana, I'm from Buffalo, New York originally. I live in Florida.
There you go. So there you go. So Mr. Tommy Real Deal, not only is he willing to come up here and ad lib with me here and talk truth to breeze, he even answers questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Lockport,
Yeah, to the Buffalo.
ask Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy, can I ask you a question? I got a buddy next to me that's in house tonight. He's the one that brought the book.
The plumber.
He's the plumber, Matty, the Mad Dog, the plumber. Everybody knows him in the chat. It's Matty Mad Dog. But anyway, he asked me because he has a lot of places upstate. Lockport,
Yeah.
Lockport,
Buffalo.
It's near
Yeah,
Buffalo.
It's like a suburb here.
Do you know anything about Lockport, Tommy?
yeah, I used to belong to a country club there.
It's nice.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, he was just curious. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
Sarah. You know who else came from Lockport?
Go ahead.
That crazy bastard that bombed at the federal building in Oklahoma.
Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you kidding? Wow, that's crazy.
He used to go on a friend of mine. A friend of mine had a country and western bar on Niagara Falls Boulevard. You know where that is, Matt?
Yep.
Yeah, he's saying yes. Yes.
All right. Well, he used to own a country and western bar, and that jerk off used to go in there.
Absolutely.
And his sister worked for my friend as a cocktail waitress.
That's crazy. I tell you, you see.
Yeah, the
Oh,
FBI,
wow.
the FBI, the CIA, the Secret Service, they all came and questioned him. What did he know about the guy? It's crazy.
Crazy lots. Definitely. All right, man. Well, I want to. We'll work on Jimmy's mic. We'll get that set. As we grow, we'll give you a much better aesthetically show from sound to vision, the whole thing. We'll hopefully someday have a really nice setup here. But I want to thank everybody. Tommy, I want to thank you for coming up.
All right.
All right. I'll keep in touch. Everybody in the chat, I want to thank you for spending your Friday night with us. And just tell everybody be safe. Have a great weekend. And take care of your loved ones and whoever's out there. Tommy, anything else?
No, that's it. There's not going to be a long Italian goodbye.
All right. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the games, whatever's on this weekend. And maybe we'll see you guys Sunday night. We'll come back. All right.
All
See
right.
you well, everybody. And have a great night. Tommy, good night,
Take
everybody.
care. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much.